Ousted Maldivian President Mohamed Nasheed says that the Sri Lankan government must talk to all sides involved in the current Maldivian crisis and impress upon them the need to hold fresh elections as quickly as possible. He stated this exclusively to News First yesterday.
There is always a conducive environment for elections. All the difficulties, the antagonisms are arising because we do not have an elected leader now. The people of this country, through elections, elected a leader, and that is no longer there. So for them to bring the country back to normality, we have to have early elections and elections as soon as possible. A number of MPs are being attacked, and a number of our MPs are specifically targeted by the police. They target these people, they seek these people out, and then they attack them. It's very difficult for us to maintain calm in the islands because they have a direct link instantly to the islands.
The former president of Maldives also drew attention to the role he believes that Sri Lanka should play.
I think Sri Lanka should be talking to all sides. The Sri Lankan government needs to talk to all sides and impress upon the need to have fresh elections as quickly as possible. We will hope to impress upon the government that the need for early elections, and we will continue working along these lines, and we believe that we will be able to get early election. Yes, we are going to have a massive rally on the 17th. You'll see all our rallies are massive. Since the fall of the government, people have been out on the streets. It's very difficult to restrain them all the time. They want answers to a number of questions that they have. And the 17th demonstrations certainly would be bigger than anything that we have seen before. I would like to again call upon my friends and cousins and everyone in Sri Lanka that we are your cousins, and we are in trouble now, and we are under stress. Please think of us, and please make sure that things are on track. There is no other people, there is no other country that we will appeal passionately like this, and we would like Sri Lankans to be with us in our time of need.
Meanwhile, News First Ramesh Urugal Bandara, who is reporting on location in Malé, Maldives, said that an order had been issued to the former president to appear before the police to record a statement today.
A large and peaceful rally was held in Malé, Maldives yesterday in support of former President Mohamed Nasheed. Now, many MDP party supporters as well as MDP party activists attended this rally, which was held last night at the artificial beach in Malé. Incidentally, today, an order was issued for the former president to appear before the police in order to record a statement. I'm Ramesh Urugal Bandara for News First from Malé, Maldives.
Well, for the very latest on the situation in the Maldives, we now cross over live via Skype to News First Ramesh Urugal Bandara, who is in Malé. Hello, Ramesh.
Good evening, Mahina.
Good evening. Now, in your report earlier in the day, Ramesh, you told us that an order had been issued for Nasheed to appear before the police. What details do you have on this for us?
Well, yes, Mahina, former President Nasheed was asked to come before the police in order to obtain statement at the police station. When I spoke to Mr. Masood Imad, the media secretary of current President Dr. Wahid, he noted that the former president has several court cases against him. Mahina?
Okay, Ramesh. Now, before wrapping up, tell us what is likely to unfold in the Maldives over the next few days. We have seen a lot of protests that are taking place in Malé in the night time. Is this the case to follow in the next few days as well?
Well, Mahina, everything is uncertain at the moment. As you saw in the past few days, the night time was the time where protests and demonstrations took place in Malé. However, the situation in Malé at the moment is very calm, and tonight I have not yet heard of any demonstrations or rallies that have been organized in Malé. However, there was a public rally that was held this afternoon, which was a pro-Mohamed Nasheed rally. However, other than that, Malé remained calm today. Well, what we can expect over the next few days, there is a tension in the Malé city, and no one quite knows how this will work out. But as Mr. Nasheed said earlier in our interview, the 17th will be a day to look out for.
Okay, Ramesh. Well, thank you for bringing us the details of the situation in Male right now. That was News First Ramesh Irugalbande reporting on the crisis taking place in Maldives. Thank you very much, Ramesh.
Reuters has reported that the United Nations Human Rights Chief Navi Pillay has raised concerns in a letter to Secretary General Ban Ki-moon about the appointment of a Sri Lankan Army General to Ban's Senior Advisory Panel on Peacekeeping. Reuters reported that Pillay's worries relate to General Shavindra Silva, currently Sri Lanka's Deputy UN Ambassador. According to Reuters, Pillay had written to Ban Ki-moon yesterday.
After a UN General Assembly meeting on Syria, UN Human Rights Chief Navi Pillay was asked what she thought about General Shavindra Silva's appointment to Secretary General Ban Ki-moon's Senior Advisory Group on Peacekeeping. Speaking to reporters, Pillay stated that it was a matter of concern and that the United Nations has very clear policies on vetting, and this was part of the work carried out by her office. Pillay stated that her office keeps a list of individuals suspected of committing human rights violations and that she has addressed a letter of concern to the Secretary General about Silva. Reuters, quoting UN officials, said that General Shavindra Silva was appointed to the advisory panel on peacekeeping by the Asia Group, which consists of UN delegations from Asia and the Middle East, and not Ban himself. Ban's spokesman didn't have an immediate response to a request for a reaction to Pillay's remarks. A UN-sponsored panel said in a report that it found credible evidence that the military killed tens of thousands of civilians in the last months of Sri Lanka's war in 2009 and that both sides committed atrocities. General Silva was named in that report as the commander of one of 6 major battalions that were active in the final stages of the war.
Australian Foreign Minister Kevin Rudd says that the Lessons Learnt and Reconciliation Commission report contains constructive proposals for advancing reconciliation and reconstruction, including through reducing the presence of security forces in the north, care of internally displaced persons, and by ensuring media freedom.
Issuing a media release, the Australian Foreign Minister Kevin Rudd said, quote, "While the LLRC's conclusion that further investigations need to be undertaken in specific cases is certainly welcome, wider issues relating to accountability need to be dealt with more thoroughly," unquote. He also noted that the Australian government has consistently urged Sri Lanka to investigate all allegations of crimes committed by both sides in the conflict, including those raised in the UN Secretary General's panel of expert report. Rudd went on to say that in light of the LLRC report's failure to comprehensively address such allegations, Australia continues to call on Sri Lanka to investigate all such allegations in a transparent and independent manner. The Australian Foreign Minister said, quote, "It is now also critical that the Sri Lankan government endorse the LLRC report's constructive elements and set clear, firm timeframes for their implementation," unquote.
Still in local news, Minister of Public Coordination and Public Affairs Mervyn Silva states no foreigner can intervene in the governance of a state. The minister expressed this view while commenting on the statement made yesterday by U.S. Assistant Secretary of State Robert Blake.
America supports the proposal that is to be brought against the Sri Lankan government at the United Nations Human Rights Council. America is attempting to capture countries by killing people, similar to how they divided Sudan, what they attempted to do to Bangladesh and what is now being done in Maldives. Since they now know that there is oil in the seas of Sri Lanka, they are trying to cripple Sri Lanka. States can be captured only in a democratic manner. No foreigner can intervene in a state's governance. Meanwhile, Western Provincial Council Minister Udaya Gammanpilla issued a release on the statement made by the visiting U.S. Assistant Secretary of State for South and Central Asian Affairs, Robert Blake. Gammanpilla points out that it is a joke for the U.S. to state that Sri Lanka has acted inadequately regarding the Lessons Learnt and Reconciliation Commission report, given the short span of time since the release of the report. Gammanpilla's release further notes that the government should decide which recommendations need to be implemented based on the reaction of the public.
Colombo Additional Magistrate Prasanna Alves stated that the order given to arrest Parliamentarian Duminda Silva and produce him before courts is still valid. The magistrate made this statement when the case pertaining to the killing of Bharata Lakshman Premachandra was taken up in court today.
President's counsel Hemantha Warnakulasuriya, appearing on behalf of Duminda Silva, informed court that medical records show that his client has written down everything that took place after he was shot. Responding to this, attorney-at-law Ajit Patirana, appearing on behalf of Premachandra, stated that if Duminda Silva was fit enough to write such a statement to the doctor, the CID should be ordered to arrest him and produce him before court. At this point, the Colombo Additional Magistrate Prasanna Alvis noted that the order issued for Duminda Silva's arrest is still valid. Meanwhile, President's counsel Hemantha Warnakulasuriya appeared in court today based on a letter given by Duminda Silva's father. The magistrate earlier ruled that Warnakulasuriya could not appear on behalf of Duminda Silva without the consent of the MP or his family. Meanwhile, the 16 suspects in the case were produced before court today. The Colombo Additional Magistrate decided to take up the case again on the 28th of this month.
Still in local news, a demonstration was carried out near the Colombo High Court today to protest against the abduction of an individual from near the court premises yesterday.
A group including the relatives of the individual who was abducted carried out this demonstration. The abducted individual is a 52-year-old businessman by the name of V.M. Chandrapala, a father of 4. Chandrapala, who was in prison on drug-related charges, was abducted while he was being taken from the Colombo High Court to the Colombo Magistrates Court yesterday. The prisoner was in the custody of prison officers at the time of the abduction. If we have done any wrong, then there is the law to punish us. We do not want the law of the jungle. Please bring back our father from wherever he is. We need our father. Wasn't I attacked and my father taken away in the presence of the law? If an ordinary person is not allowed to stay in the presence of the police, then how can those who carry weapons stay in the presence of the police or in the presence of court? Police media spokesperson SP Ajit Rohan stated that the Kesalwata police have commenced investigations into the incident. Meanwhile, Commissioner General of Prisons P-2 Kodipili stated that an investigation headed by a jailer is underway into the abduction.